So starting with this, we have two inequalities up here. One of them is already in slope-intercept form, and the other is not. Okay. So let's start with the one that is. The very first one, y is greater than or equal to negative 1/2 x plus 1. Okay, what is slope-intercept form again? Huh? Y equals mx plus b. So in that top equation, what is our b? The 1. So that's where you start at when we're graphing. So you go up on the y-axis and you go up to a 1 and put a dot there. Okay. From there, what's our slope on that first equation? The first inequality. Negative 1/2. So from that 1, I'm going to go down 1 and to the right 2. And again, I can just keep doing that as long as it'll let me. Or I can go up 1 and to the left 2. So hopefully at that point you can see there's a straight line. Okay. Now, one of the two big keys in the graphs, differences in the graphs of equations and inequalities. Sometimes with inequalities you have a dashed line and sometimes you have a solid line. Okay? The difference for those is if you have this symbol or this symbol, then your line is going to be a solid line. So if the equal to symbol is with it, the line will be a solid line. Okay? If it doesn't have an equal sign with it, so it's just the greater than or less than, then the line will be a dashed line. And what that means is it's not actually equal to anything on that line. So the points that are on that line do not make the statement a true statement. So they're not solutions. You just do the things above or below. So both of our equations that are up here now have the equal sign with it. So both of these are going to be solid lines. And so the first line that we'll say, or graph, will look like that. Okay. That's the first thing, difference for equations and inequalities is sometimes it's a solid, sometimes it's a dashed line. The other part is you got to shade up or down. Okay? And since our inequality says that y is greater than or equal to, greater than means we're going to shade up. And so you'll end up, anything up here in this area that's shaded above this line is considered a solution to that inequality. So anything above that line, that's the first equation or inequality graph. Okay. Now, the second inequality, because you got to grab both of them on the same grid. The second inequality is not in slope-intercept form first, so I need to get the y by itself. So to do that, I need to get rid of that 2x by subtracting 2x from both sides. So I'm left with negative y is greater than or equal to negative 3 minus 2x. And then what else do I got to do? I got to get rid of that negative in front of the y. So I need to divide both sides by negative 1. Yeah. Stop. Okay, stop. Focus more on what I'm telling you now. I don't want anybody else to tell you. All right. So on an inequality, when you divide both sides by a negative number or multiply both sides by a negative number, the inequality symbol changes directions. So since we just divided everything by a -1, the inequality changes direction. Okay? So that's the first step you're doing. Second is, when you're dividing by -1, all that does is change the sign on every term. So it's a positive y, a positive 3, and a positive 2x. They were all negatives. So now we are in slope-intercept form of the graph. So my y-intercept, or my b in this case, is 3. So I go up 1, 2, 3 and put a dot. And my slope is a 2, which means I go up 2 and to the right 1, or I go down 2 and to the left 1. And just like the other one, it is a solid line simply because it's a less than or equal to symbol, and so the equal to piece makes it a solid line. Now, which way am I going to shade on this one? Down. We're doing less than. So down's going to be that direction from the green line. Because it's slanted this way, so down is this direction. Okay. So my question is, if I'm solving this system, what's the solution to this inequality system? The solution is everything that they have in common, which means anything in this whole area. If it was shaded in both colors, or the way I usually do it when I use pencil is I shade in both directions. Anything that's shaded in both directions is part of the solution. So the solution is what overlaps, what they have in common. Yes. Make a note.
I'll be listening.
Yeah, people have their heads down, put a little note by it. If they're not paying attention, put a note by it.
I'm not looking, but I have.
Yeah, which means you can't really understand what I'm doing if you're not looking.
I'm looking at the page.
So you weren't right then, you just had your head down on your jacket.
Good, and I was like,
But I did make a note of it.
So you gonna say my name on?
Oh, no.
Why?
Because my notes said you had your head down. That's all I know.
So I
No, it didn't say that.
I'm sorry, I'm sick, I had a rough night. I'm tired.
Me too.
You is? You want to take me out?
No. Alright. Questions about this one? How's it look? Are you okay with that? Do you remember doing this back in Algebra 1 just a little bit?
No, not okay. No, I didn't.
It was done in Algebra 1 with you, but I won't promise you that you spent a lot of time on it.
You only did.
And it's probably really close to the end of Algebra 1. Alright. And just as a reminder, y'all, the notes page as a PDF will be saved on the agenda, and so will the video of this recording of the student.
Are you recording it right now?
Yes. So anything I write up here gets recorded. Anything we say gets recorded. It'll be like a video. Yesterday's already on, so you can look back at it if you want. All right. This one's a little bit different setup.
What do you write down here?
Hey, don't worry about it, and please do not ask me every time I go to this paper, or I'm going to end up putting you on hallway for a little bit. That's not going to work. It'll be between me and that person after
Can
I
I
talk to
put
them.
tape around my head?
No, because I don't see that.
I was gonna do it anyway.
Please stop talking.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Can I do some water?
you. No. Plus that continue the talking, which I had to ask you to stop it.
Okay.
These two are set up a little bit differently. The first equation, or the first inequality, is in slope-intercept form, but there is no x, which means there is no slope, because the slope has to be 0. The slope's a permeate. Okay? So what we have there is the y-intercept in that first one. It says y is less than 2. So my y-intercept, use this one in green here, is at 2. Okay? If we graph that equation, if we graph the equation y equals 2, then all we do is everywhere that y is 2, we can put a dot. Let's put the line here. So it ends up being a horizontal line there at y equals 2. So it goes across all the way here. And it'll be a horizontal line there at the y equals 2. And because this one is not an equal to, it's a less than, but it does have the equal to symbol. Instead of a solid line, this will be our first one that has the dashed line. Because our solution does not include this line. Okay? It will include everything less than that line. Which is our inequality is y is less than 2, not y equals 2. Okay? So, again, y is less than 2, I will shade down. And we're probably going to have it done.
I did not do nothing.
It's not any one little thing, it's just been a constant. So I need you to be really,
I
really...
can see half the time.
Exactly, that's part of it.
Okay,
No, we can talk about it later. We're not talking about it again here in class. So
but.
if you bring it up again in class, it's automatic. You can talk to me after class. Yes, as of this moment, you do not have it, but you will if you say anything up there. Or if you stay asleep, either one of them.
Oh man, we might as well.
Okay, then we'll just have one then.
No.
Alright, the next one says x is greater than or equal to -3. Okay, when you don't have a y value, then your slope is what we call undefined, which means it's a vertical line. Okay, so I go to where x is -3, which is right here, and it's going to be a vertical line at that point. And since this one is an equal to also, it will be a solid line. So I will draw that one solid. And since it says greater than, I'm going to shade that direction. Is it about this?
It's about there. I'm really cold. I'm
Oh,
sick.
it's been running. It's still running, so I can hear it. It is. Alright, so x is greater than or equal to -3, looks like that.
Oh.
Okay. So the solution to the system is this line here, and then everything in this little area. But if it's on that green line here, it's not included. So this little green line right here is not included because it's not equal to that line.
So on the y-axis, you put 2.
Yes,
Okay, so from the green line up. Well, I don't know. All right, I have to watch it again.
correct. And then to the left of the blue line is not.
That's 6 from the front. Stop laughing, y'all. Can I come in the front? Please. So I really can't see, like, I'm not even trying to be
And maybe a spot over there. You can sit down. You can't stand in front of people. That's the thing.
Y'all want me to sit like I can
other questions about this one?
You talk to me.
If you're given a problem that asks you if the point, if it asks you if the point 4,2 is a solution to the system, the way you do that is you go and find that point. So the point 4,2 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, up 2 would be right there. Okay, because that's on that green line, it is not part of the solution. So if there's a problem that asks you, is 4,2 a solution to this system? The answer would be no, it is not. Okay, so I'll put not a solution. Nowhere in there did I say wake up. I just said get your head up. I didn't say you were asleep. Don't matter. Alright. The next one we're doing looks like this. Oh, sorry. Hold up. Put equals. That one should be.
What? Alright.
Sorry, took the wrong. This one should be greater than or equals, and this one should be less than. Okay, both of these equations are in slope-intercept form, or both these inequalities are in slope-intercept form. So I already know my B, I already know my M, so I can just graph both of them and then shade the correct direction. Okay, so let's look at the first one. With this in red, we start out at 2 on the y-axis. So I put a dot at the 2 on the y-axis. And then from there, my slope is 3/4.
Oh.
So I will go up 3 and to the right 4. And then I, again, can continue doing that. Or I can go down 3 and to the left 4. Okay. So there's some dots that I can draw my line through. Will my line be solid or dashed on that one?
Solid.
Solid because of the greater than or equal to symbol. The equal to part makes it solid. And then which direction am I shading on this one? Up. Since it does say greater than, I'm shading it.
Detention.
Coach, I mean not coach.
Right.
They mad 'cause I'm learning. I feel like they should have detention.
Second equation, or an inequality. What is the y-intercept on that second inequality? -3. So I go down 3 and put my dot. Okay. From there, what do I need to do?
Go down 3 over 4.
So down 3, 1, 2, 3, and to the left 4, right? Because it's a positive, so if I go down, I need to go left. Or I can go up and go to the right. Well, this will be a solid line or dash line. Dash, because it's just less than.
You can't get out.
And I shade down because it's a less than. Okay. So what is my solution to this inequality system? No solution, because they do not have anything in common. And here's what you should notice from the beginning of this. The slopes on these two inequalities are the same. They both have a slope of 3/4, which means they're parallel lines. Okay? If the slopes are the same, the lines are parallel. Okay? And since one's greater than it's on top and one's less than it's on bottom, they're shaded in opposite directions, so they will never intersect. Hey, while I'm speaking words out my mouth, don't holler out a question. Get my attention first, let me finish my sentence, and then ask me a question. And yes, I've already answered that question anyway. Yes, what we'll do today, we'll be on the quiz tomorrow. Pre-quiz tomorrow, pre-test. So I'll be agency graded, and so you got to make sure you show me what you can do, you're working, and that you're trying all the problems. No.
So you're not grading if it's right.
I am grading it if it's right or not, but you're not getting a grade based off it. You're getting a grade based off the work you show. Okay? So, yeah, you ought to be clear again tomorrow. I am grading the test, but I'm not grading, your grade's not based on correct. Okay, I will grade it, and I will let you know how many you got wrong and right. Yes, depends on Notre Dame, we'll be able to test tomorrow. The last 3 days, yes. Okay, but, hey, listen, just because you come down in here tomorrow and write down something on every problem does not mean you're going to get all your points.
Right.
Because some of y'all can do a lot more than you try to do.
So yesterday's stuff's already on YouTube.
Just go to the agenda, the video's already there. So yeah, y'all, if you need to go back and look at yesterday's stuff, the video is on the agenda. So you can go back and look at it. And today's will be on there pretty quickly. I'll get it down here in 6:30. I may have it in there before y'all get out of here. Hey, y'all, if you borrowed a book from me when you walk out the door, it needs to be put back on the shelf, please.